Let AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms plan your perfectly tailored space fitted around you. We also offer bespoke services for understairs storage, TV units and feature walls, all designed and manufactured by us. Call us now on 01733 686 767 or visit abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk. Open to the trade and public. AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms, Unit 3 Brassey Close, Peterborough, PE1 2AZ. Plan your dream home with us. abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk.
अब खुल गया है देसी रेस्टोरेंट, तो क्यों ना आज ही अपने घर वालों के लिए खाना ऑर्डर करें। हमारे पास फिश पकोड़ा, चिकन पकोड़ा, चरगा स्टीम चिकन, लेम और वेजिटेबल समोसा, बिरयानी, पिज्जा, फलूदा, जलेबी, गुलाब जामुन, समोसा चाट, फ्रेश चिकन और लेम हांडी, लाहौरी चना और बहुत कुछ। ये सब अब आपको मिले सिर्फ और सिर्फ देसी रेस्टोरेंट में। आज की स्पेशल ऑफर, निहारी और पाए एक नान और रोटी के साथ सिर्फ 6 पाउंड में। स्पेशल लंच टाइम ऑफर दिन 12 से 4 बजे तक। चिकन और लेम कड़ी 2 रोटी के साथ सिर्फ 6 पाउंड में। मिक्स वेजिटेबल कड़ी और तड़का दाल 2 रोटी के साथ 5 पाउंड में। तो ऑर्डर करें अभी देसी रेस्टोरेंट online.com पर और ऑनलाइन पेमेंट करें बिल्कुल सेफली और कॉल कर सकते हैं 01733555795। हमारे पास डिलीवरी भी मौजूद है और 10% डिस्काउंट के साथ आप खुद कलेक्ट भी कर सकते हैं। 298 लिंकन रोड, पीटरब्रो, PE1 2ND। देसी रेस्टोरेंट, आपका अपना पसंदीदा और मयारी खाने।
Visit our website salamradio.co.uk.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Salaam Sports here on Salaam Radio 106.2 FM. Very, very pleased to be back in the studio after a week off. Everyone seems to be having a week off every now and again, don't they?
Yeah.
But welcome to the studio. Sadat, Akram, thank you so much for joining us again this week. And on the phone, do we have Rashid Ansari?
Yes, Assalamu
alaikum, Rashid. Thank you so much for joining us. We're doing all right. I've just taken a kick in the gut, I'll be honest with you. Sadat's feeling, he's a little bit nonplussed about it all. And you're quite gleeful, aren't you, right now, Rashid?
About what?
We're talking Formula One. We have to be talking Formula One.
Yeah,
We've literally just at the end of the race, 15, 20 minutes ago. The end of not really an up and down season, a very exciting season.
Controversial season, hasn't it, mate?
It has been.
Than others.
It has been a little bit controversial, but it looks like all the controversy has been saved for the last race, and not just the last race, but the last lap of the last race, when both of the main protagonists have gone into the race on the same number of points and at the front row of the grid. Rashid, I presume you watched the race.
Yes, I was watching. Yeah, I watched the race. Yes, I did.
Are you happy with the outcome?
You know what? For the sake of motorsport, yes.
Really?
Ooh. Yeah.
Come on, mate. We've got to back our British racers now.
No, I mean he's had a monopoly, right? And for the first time, Red Bull came back with a better car, and Mercedes had to up the game and they couldn't. And I'll say this: Hamilton, to a large extent, has been somewhat dignified. There was a bit of moaning, when he was quite a bit behind, but he's come back and he's been a bit dignified. But I just think for the sake of motorsport, it's good that Verstappen won. Let's see if Mercedes now can up the ante and can they come back with a better car than Red Bull next season.
Yeah, so we're talking about next season already. Let's talk about this season. Let's talk about this race because there's plenty to pick apart. So that you followed the race today.
I was in and out, and I saw Hamilton at the start was all the way leading all the way through, and then 14 seconds. I thought that's a lot of seconds. There's no way he's going to actually catch that up, and I thought it was done and dusted, to be honest with you. And then I flicked on and back on again, and they're level head on the final one. But he didn't change his tyres, Hamilton, which again, I'm a bit of an amateur in this F1, so he decided not to. So isn't there where you have to do a certain amount of pit stops?
Rashid,
so he's done that, has he?
Yeah, Rashid, do you want to talk about the tyre strategy and how it panned out?
Well, the tyre strategy was that Verstappen changed earlier, therefore his tyres were fresher and he could zip through. He didn't, for whatever reason. Mercedes told him not to change his tyres, because then Verstappen would have been able to go ahead of him, and he would not been able to catch. He wouldn't have enough time to catch up. And that strategy was flawed, I think, by Mercedes. I mean,
but had it not been for the incident, it wasn't that strategy working.
Yes and no. I mean, it's basically to get pole position. Verstappen was on soft tires, and Hamilton was on medium tires.
Right.
So it was thought that Verstappen was going to be faster than Hamilton at the very start of the race, but he wasn't.
No.
Hamilton got a really good start, took the lead, and maintained the lead, and in fact grew the lead. What happened was when Verstappen pitted, Lewis Hamilton pitted as well, so they had exactly the same tyres at exactly the same time, and Hamilton still had the lead. So Mercedes' strategy was then copy what they do. If they go in, you go in.
Yeah.
If they don't go in, you don't go in. Yeah, because what you want to do is you want to negate any changes they make.
Yeah.
But there was a safety car that came out around lap 35.
Right, because there was an incident. I missed that again. But I
Yeah,
saw the
so there was an
safety
incident.
car then.
Yeah, there was an incident. So the safety car came out about lap 30, 35, something like that. And because Hamilton was leading, Verstappen took the opposite, because Verstappen had nothing to lose. He came into pit to get fresh tyres. And then Mercedes had a decision. Should we bring Hamilton in as well?
This is why the safety car was still out there.
While the safety car was still out.
Okay.
But they thought, even though he won't lose as much time because the safety car's out, he'll still lose track position. So he might not go back in first, so he might have traffic. So they decided against it. That was working absolutely fine. We were maybe 6 laps to go, 5 laps to go. Hamilton had about an 11-second lead. So pretty much in the bag. You're not going to make up 2 seconds per lap, 6 laps in a row. It's not going to happen. Then our main man, Latifi, goes and flipping skids off, hits the barriers, car half on the track, half off the track.
So this is why that safety car's out there. That incident happened.
And then another safety car came out. And then this is where it gets really, really interesting. So when the safety car comes out that late into the race, they've got to clear the track, they've got to clear the debris, they've got to make sure it's safe. That might even take 4 laps, 5 laps.
Yeah.
So you end up finishing the race under a safety car, which means whatever order you
so
were
that lap
in.
still counts in that same order.
Yeah, the laps
it's
will
not,
still
it's
count.
not as a reset or anything.
No, you don't say we're on lap 54 or 58. When the safety car goes out, we'll be on 54 again.
58, no.
It's how many times you've been round, right? So if the safety car, if they had followed the rules, then there was one or two things they could have done, right? Number one, they let the safety car stay out until everything's cleared, and once everything's cleared, the safety car goes out and they restart the race. But what that would have meant was Verstappen jumped into the pits. He had a number of cars in between him and Hamilton, but those cars were all lapped cars, right?
Right.
So Hamilton has lapped them all
before.
right?
Yeah.
So either you restart the race and the lapped cars, there's 3 or 4 of them, I think, between Hamilton and Verstappen, or you allow all the lapped cars to pass the safety car.
Yep.
And then you restart the race with 1, 2 just behind the safety car. But they didn't have enough laps to be able to do that. So if they did that, if they allowed all the lapped cars to pass the safety car, they'd have finished the race under the safety car.
Right.
Hamilton would have won. So under both scenarios, Hamilton would have won. What they ended up doing was they allowed only the lapped cars between Hamilton and Verstappen to pass the safety car.
All right, okay.
And then restarted the race with 1 lap to go, where Hamilton's on tyres that are like 40 laps old, and Verstappen's got a fresh set. So he's bound to be quicker, he's bound to be faster, he's bound to get better purchase, especially off the corners. Rashid, I mean, it seems like of the 2 decisions that they were allowed to make, neither of them led to Max Verstappen winning. So they made a third new decision outside of the rules to allow Max Verstappen to win and cost Lewis Hamilton his 8th title.
Outside of the rules?
Outside of the rules. I'll say that, outside of the rules. Rashid?
Yeah, there may be a field. I mean, Chancellor Toto Wolff won't take it, and he will appeal this. He wasn't very happy anyway. You hear him on what he was saying, and I think it was whoever people that would run the F1, I've forgotten his name. He turned and replied. He goes, "Look, it's a car race. Deal with it."
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, there's a few tweets I want to read out. Yeah, this
Mercedes should have got each time Verstappen pitted, Hamilton should have pitted.
Yeah, but no, the only thing is, you got to bear in mind, Rashid. Sorry, you got to bear in mind that Hamilton was ahead of Verstappen. Now Hamilton was ahead of Verstappen. So when Hamilton chooses to not pit, Verstappen comes in behind him. Then Hamilton's got a decision: do I pit at the next available? Yeah. Now either the safety car's gone away, or if it's still there, there's potential to lose track position.
Rely on your skill and don't be defensive. And when you know your lap, you've got 40, your car, your tyres are 44 laps old, 34 laps or old, and his are just less than 11, then he's got a distinct advantage.
You say that, but this is, I mean, my view is that Mercedes and Hamilton made the decisions
based on the rules,
and also to keep the race.
Harry Maguire would never go one-on-one with Mbappe.
Harry Maguire would never go one-on-one with many players. Let's not bring him in. He got exposed against Norwich City yesterday. Did you see the way he got turned inside and outside, and then De Gea had to rescue him?
No, I mean, the only time he got done was that German player who didn't have the ball. Even though he had.
Don't say German player, say Norwich player.
He's a German Norwich player.
Should say Norwich player, isn't it?
No, he didn't go past. He should have driven past him when he the opportunity. When he
Rashid, you know what I was going to say, like Hamilton and Mercedes' decisions all meant that they took the race out of Max Verstappen's hands.
No,
yeah, so
they took the race out of his hands.
They were defensive in nature. It's like, who would you rather have, Boycott or Chris Gale in the T20 match opening the innings? You want Chris Gale? I don't know.
Sully reckons Maguire. Sully reckons Maguire got done by Liverpool 5 times, but that's let me read this tweet out. Rashid, there's a few tweets that I've just been following off the back of that race. This tweet's from a guy named Wayne Stewart. He says the stewards had a decision. Option 1, make Lewis champion. Option 2, make Max champion. They chose their champion. Okay. Another tweet. No lapped cars to overtake. Then change their mind 3 corners from the end. Then allow 5 of the lapped cars to overtake. Formula One's integrity at an all-time low. They've just fixed the race in front of our eyes. That's not sport, that's a joke. And the final one I wanted to read out. This is from Motorsport Meister. FIA sporting regs 39.12 have not been followed. Speech marks. Once the last lapped car has passed the leader, the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. The last lapped car didn't pass the safety car.
I mean, I don't know much, like I said, but it sounds, and we're going to use the football analogy, it sounds like the offside rule's been changed.
Yeah,
you know?
Right before our eyes. The
line's been adjusted.
Clear daylight was not there.
Yeah, just to let him score a goal, just to let him win, you know?
I don't know. You know what it is? I'm not a massive Lewis Hamilton fan. I'm not a massive Formula One fan. But I'm a massive sports fan.
Yeah,
and I love sports. I love sports and I love drama.
Yep.
But I also like for things to be fair. Right? It's like when Ghana missed that penalty and lost on penalties to Uruguay when Suarez made that handball on the line. Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah. You know why he's done it, but it's disgusting. It's wrong. It's not in the. I just feel like, you know,
the hand of God.
Yeah, I just feel like we've been cheated a little bit, to be honest.
I admit that, you know, I completely agree. It looked the way it was handled looked dodgy, clearly, and that needs to be. You know, Mercedes need to kick off on that and do everything they can, but they also have to look at themselves in the mirror.
Can it be appealed then? Sorry, so is this a thing that can be appealed, and can it be overturned? Can the champion be changed to Hamilton?
I mean, I don't think you can go as far as that.
I think it's too late now. Yeah, I think it's too late now. I think once it's done, it's done. It's been announced. It's done. There's a few tweets, but I just shared a tweet. Latifi celebrating with Red Bull. It's obviously not Latifi celebrating with Red Bull, but it's a footy picture of an opposition player celebrating with the other team. But Latifi, yeah, I mean, what's he done? He's just caused all this havoc. It reminds me a little bit of, when Hamilton won his first title, and he was about 11, 12 seconds behind, had to overtake Glock, had 2 laps, and then Glock's times they just catapulted, and people say there was a problem with his car, and there was always a bit of controversy over whether or not there was problems with his car or whether he's just let Hamilton go through. So yeah, I guess the shoe's on the other foot. It is what it is. What can you do? But yeah, not a nice end for me.
Yeah, but that's a driver. I mean, again, just using that, but that's a driver making his decision. This is obviously a whole change of the rules or the laws, however you refer it, into F1. That's allowed for Verstappen to win his first. Yeah, I just congratulate him, I suppose. We haven't said that, but he's won his first.
Congratulations to Max Verstappen on winning his first Formula One Green Championship, Formula One Championship. Absolutely, yeah. Take nothing away. And I mean, there's a lot of diehard Lewis Hamilton fans who say Verstappen deserved it. Verstappen shouldn't have crashed out in Silverstone. Should have taken his whatever he was, second place, third place, whatever. Got those extra 33 points, and it would have been clear home and dry now. You know, it wouldn't have even come to the last race.
When so you want to win a game or a championship or whatever it is, you want to win it on your own merits, not on some controversy like, they've decided to change the rules just for you.
Yeah, I don't think it'll matter to him. he'll still.
I think it'll go in history, wouldn't it? Surely it'll be say, yeah, that's the one where they changed the laws and the rules.
Oh, so do you remember when Schumacher crashed
what if
into?
he never wins
Do you remember when
again?
Schumacher crashed into Hill in the first corner of that final Grand Prix where Damon Hill had to finish ahead of Schumacher in that race?
Yes.
Schumacher just crashed into him. They both had to retire, and Schumacher won by default. He didn't care. Nobody cares. Like,
Yeah, that's in his hands. That was in his hands.
That was in his hands. This is the other thing. Potentially Hamilton could have crashed out, but had he done so, they would have done something like a countback, which would have been on a number of victories. And I think Verstappen's got more victories.
Yeah, the fact was Lewis had to, no matter what happened, Lewis had to finish.
He had to finish the race, and he had to finish ahead of Verstappen. Yeah,
it was like an away goals rule. It was like because Verstappen had won more races, he was in the lead. That was it. He was gonna nick him that.
He must feel like the defeat Liverpool had against Arsenal when Arsenal needs to win with 2 goals, and it was the last minute goal within the added time. Who was that?
No, they did an analogy of what this race was equivalent to in terms of the world of football, and it was 90 minutes Brighton to Manchester United to 90 plus 10 minutes Bruno Fernandes penalty 3-2 United. I saw that somewhere, that made me laugh. Listen, let's move on because there's plenty of calls for us to dedicate the whole hour to Zidane Iqbal. Zidane Iqbal, definitely going to be talking about him. Very, very proud moment for his family, for United fans, and for people of an Indian Pakistani heritage here living in the UK, myself included. Genuinely happy to see him come through. So we'll come on to him. But before we go on to the football, a few other little sporting events have been taking place in the world of sport. Firstly, Pakistan win against Bangladesh.
Yes,
what a good result! Series. What a good result!
Yeah, the whole series. I think
it's a whitewash. Yeah, it's a whitewash.
To be
brown wash.
Brown wash, yeah, if you want to say brown wash. We can say that's not racist because we're brown, right? So, brown wash. Our studio manager is shaking his head in disbelief. Sorry about that, Ali. Yeah, it was a whitewash, guys. It was a whitewash. A really, really good performance in light of challenging.
I don't know if it told more about Pakistan or about Bangladesh, how they've dropped, actually, their standards, because they weren't, when they first started, they were probably, obviously, really bad, but then they actually peaked. Beating India in between, beating some big teams. I think they even beat Australia as well, a few games.
Right?
Yeah, go on.
T20 Bangladesh were competitive, right?
Even one days, even in the one days, it was 50-50 over. I think they beat the.
But they've never won a test series ever in the history.
They've never won the test series, but it was even in the T20s and one days. They just look.
They upped their levels in the T20s and in the one days. The tests, that's where you've really got to work. Yeah, it really is a test. Yeah.
On other group chats, and I know a couple of Bangladeshi friends, and I was asking them, look, what is so wrong with your cricket right now? And they sent me a couple of articles, and there's a lot of cynicism and criticism of the Bangladeshi selectors. Just until Imran Khan came and he's kind of reset Pakistani cricket, right? And then he's put it on mimic the Australian system, right? How you select and the structure and all that.
They brought in Ramiz Raj, didn't it?
Basically, it's corruption in Bangladeshi cricket. The selectors pick their favourites. They don't pick players on form. They put players in not in their natural positions in terms of how they play in domestic cricket.
Yeah, I mean, so I was going to say as well. I was going to say that sounds like Pakistan maybe 10 years, 15, 20 years ago.
Well, it still does. I mean, just
still
before,
to an extent,
just
but
to the World,
we're definitely
before
getting
the
better.
World Cup, there was a whole criticism of Pakistan and the way the board got changed and the players that been selected and Barbara not being.
But the Test match itself, I mean, it was rain for about 2.5 days, right? It was pretty much. It was looking very much likely we wouldn't be able to get the match finished. So for Pakistan to be as efficient as they were in the time that they had. Actually, really impressive on Pakistan's behalf.
I suppose now they've got West Indies tomorrow in Pakistan, so that's the big news. Obviously, Pakistan cricket back in Pakistan. I think Karachi's the first. I think they're playing 3 T20s and about 2 50-50 overs.
So shout out to West Indies for coming
over. And then March, if it still goes ahead, Australia, the next country to come to Pakistan, and that was a proper series where they'll have T20s, 50 over matches, and I think it's 3 Test matches. So that will be really
No, we
interesting.
pray that all passes without any incident and we continue to have cricket in Pakistan.
Yes, because currently on the table, I think it was Sri Lanka #1 in the Test series, and Australia has just gone back to #2 above Pakistan after beating England. Which
speaking of Australia, is it worth the England team touring in Australia for the Ashes?
Well,
should we just give them that?
Not in the Gabba. They've won for 35 years or
36
years.
Yeah, I just feel like, it's just deja vu, isn't it? It's like, we lost 5-0 in the last Ashes.
I think it's
It's gonna be from the last one was 4-1.
Was it 4-1 in the end?
4-1, yeah.
Okay, we lost the first four.
This is going to be 5. This is going to be 5. England are underprepared. The bowling attack's a bit toothless, and the batting's inept. England.
What about Rash? What do you think of the selection of Leach ahead of Broad? They obviously decided, and he went for 108 in 10 or 12 overs, I think it's something like that.
Remember all the criticism. Martin isn't really a proper test spinner, mate. He struggles in Australia. On no offense, Martin's never gone for 100 runs in 10 overs in Australia.
Did you say Leach ahead of
Stuart Broad?
Stuart Broad.
Yeah.
So Stuart Broad's not in the Ashes squad.
He's in the squad. He wasn't selected for that game for this first test.
And then
match.
what are you saying, Rashid, about Moyne?
Remember, there's all this criticism about Moeen Ali, right? They always criticise Moeen Ali because he never really did it in Australia. He's not good enough.
No, they criticise Moeen Ali because he's brown and he's got a beard.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. No, I said let's be honest
your
about
manager's shaking his head.
No, he's not. He's not, because he knows what's come out of Yorkshire Cricket Club and Essex Cricket Club and ECB.
Yeah.
Moeen Ali, in no test match for England, even in Australia, went for 100 runs.
But Moeen Ali, with all due respect, Moeen Ali's not a bowler. He's a batsman, and they ruined his batting. To be honest,
he's
with you,
I think Moylan's a proper all-rounder.
I think he's a batsman. They're trying to change him to more of a spinner and ruin his batting by putting him. What is it? I think he even batted at 8 or 9.
He's batted pretty much every single position of that. Yeah, down to about 9.
Rashid, they didn't treat him well, and he decided to retire for the Test game. This is what's happening.
The Ashes, we think 5-0 Australia, because they've got their house in order and we're just all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, right now, you think the Australians are less racist than the English, and that's why you want Australia to win.
Well, yeah.
Do we always support the least racist team? That'd be really good.
Gillespie was high praised, isn't he, in Rafiq's comments when
Gillespie was very supportive. And it's interesting because
and then look at Pakistan's cricket coach as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. So interesting. I'm going to be following that on and off. Obviously, I do follow the Ashes. The thing is, I love the Ashes.
Well, it's on. The annoying thing about this
obviously
year,
the timings and stuff.
the timings is one thing, obviously, because it's in Australia. But it's on channel, and there's no highlights.
No, there is highlights.
It's on that same channel. There's no last time.
But you get highlights on the iPlayer, 5 o'clock on the iPlayer and BBC iPlayer.
BBC iPlayer.
Oh, is it BBC iPlayer? Because normally, because Channel 4 or Channel 5 or BBC normally do show highlights like 7 o'clock. Slot highlights.
Do you remember that back in the day, like Channel 4 cricket?
Yeah.
It used to be brilliant, wasn't it? I used to really enjoy that.
Channel 4 used to have the Italian Football League as well.
Exactly, Serie A and all that. Good times. We're showing our age, but good times. Listen, let's move on again, because we're 5 minutes left of the first half of the show. I don't know where the time's gone, but we've got to pick up local sports. And Rashid, I don't know if you know this, but FC Peterborough, the team that we've set up here in Peterborough, the club, they've got a first team. And the first team called in some vets. Sadat, did you get a call?
No.
Sadat didn't get a call. No. Myself, Arif. It would have been wicked if Arif was here.
I heard about it.
It would have been brilliant if Arif was here in the studio today, because we would have talked about it. I think part of the reason why he's not in the studios today is because he did get called up for the first team. And basically what happened...
Hang on, you guys got called up for the first team?
Yeah, vets, can you believe it? Yeah. Can you believe it?
How old are you guys now?
Yeah, I'm 42, going on 43, mate. I'm 43.
And some.
Speaking of which, it's my birthday next week, so wish me happy birthday. Ali, don't forget, a little bit of cake in.
Oh, we'll have the cake in the studio, Ali?
No, we'll have to have it out there.
Are you doing a Yaya Toure right now?
Yeah, definitely. I'm high maintenance, like me, honestly. So Rashid, it was myself, you know Hamad, didn't it? You know Hamad?
Yeah,
myself, Hamad, Arif, and another guy, T. The 4 of us got called up. Literally, they had no centre back, so he just wanted us to play centre back, and he knew we didn't have more than 45 minutes in our legs. So
that's why he didn't call me. He didn't want me.
Well, you're a striker, aren't you? So stroke cam, so he obviously didn't call you. Me and Hamad played centre back for the first half, and I think it's 2-1 at half time, and they scored one from about 25 yards. So it wasn't.
Was that this week? Yesterday we're talking about?
No, this is about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Second half, Arif comes on. Oh my gosh. Centre back, Arif and Ahmad. And yeah, it was so bad. Like literally, the opposition went down to 10 men. So we're 11 versus 10 and we're 2-1 up. And we let in 2 goals in like 5 minutes. And Arif takes himself off. That's how bad it was. He literally, yeah.
I thought he'd be shouting at Ahmad.
He was trying to shout at Ahmad. And then in the end, he was like, you know what, to the manager, he goes, look, take me off. And you got to remember, Arif is the chairman of the football club. So he's playing centre back, completely messed it up, like, and he's calling for a sub, and that's the only time I think I've ever seen Arif asking to be subbed. Have you ever heard him asking to be? Yeah,
no,
literally subbed himself.
What did they do to him? What was it? Lack of pace? Was it beating in the air?
No, Arif has got so much pace.
The ball away.
You'd be shocked, mate.
Yeah,
Arif is a proper quick player. He's probably as quick as anybody else on that pitch.
Yeah,
so he's super quick.
Wisely.
But yeah, just like, I don't know, his head was in the clouds or something. I don't know what happened, but he just
normally he's shouting at the manager, if you sub me, I'm sacking you. I'm replacing you with another manager.
That's his usual line. So yeah, no, we had a good time. Ended up winning on penalties to go through to the next round.
A recording if anybody wants it. I didn't know.
There's a recording if anyone wants it. Ishfaq, if you could go onto that recording, crop the relevant bits, the highlights. Let's just do the highlights, yeah? Crop the highlights and just post them on this chat. I would love to see them again. I think I did forward it to that point where he came on, but every clip I saw of Arif, he was playing really well. He goes, he's quick. So Ishfaq goes, Arif is quick, but he's not Sadat Akram quick. That's true. Sadat Akram is deceptively quick. So that was good. The other thing, local sports, bad news about the Top Yard School of Boxing show, which was supposed to be on today.
Yes.
Which meant I wasn't supposed to be on the radio today, but that got cancelled because of
COVID.
The new outbreak of Omicron in the COVID world. And,
it's not going behind closed doors. It's not happening secretly. There's no booze. There's no party. There's no nothing.
There's no booze. There's no party. There's no Christmas quiz.
There's no quiz.
Yeah, and there's no boxing.
Wine and nibbles then, and
no wine, nibbles, no cheese, no nothing.
No nothing.
This is genuinely off. This is genuinely off. Speaking of which, I mean, I know it's not sports related, but who do you reckon is going to be the Prime Minister coming to the new year?
More chances of Arif.
Do you reckon it's going to be Priti Patel, or is it going to be Matt Hancock, or
Sunak?
Sunak, I think so.
Yeah,
Sunak.
Nah, Dominic Raab, I reckon he'll go for it.
Sunak.
No chance.
What about Jacob Rees-Mogg?
Oh
no.
Listen,
go.
Yeah. Right, we're all out of time. We're all out of time. We are going to come back in the second half. Yeah, in about 30 seconds, where we are going to be talking about Raf Rangnick. Good start. Oh, is it a good start? Is it a good start? I don't know. We'll talk about Chelsea. We're going to be talking about Chelsea and their slide, demise, slip. Yeah, I don't know. It's not easy winning the league. It's not easy, mate. It's hard work. We're going to talk about City and Liverpool. And who looks the most likely to finish in the top spot, and obviously the race for fourth place. Notwithstanding all of that, Zidane Iqbal, guys, we will be discussing Zidane Iqbal in the second half of the show. So join us in about 4 minutes after these short breaks.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Peterborough. Who said good quality fried and grilled chicken has to be expensive? At Sam's, we take pride in every piece of chicken that leaves our kitchen. Just one bite of our chicken or burgers is all it takes to realise we are the best. Visit us at our brand new place at 333 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PF. Or order a delivery through Just Eat, Uber or Deliveroo. Sam's, the home of great tasting chicken for over 30 years.
Could you spare a few hours each month to provide support to people going through tough times? If so, Peterborough Samaritans are looking for volunteers who are empathetic and open-minded, and we'd love to hear from you. We run information sessions where you can find out more about what it means to volunteer for the Samaritans. If you're at least 18 years of age and would like to know more, please email volunteer@peterboroughtsamaritans.org.
Where can you get high quality and low prices? Amar Food Store and Halal Meat in Lincoln Road Triangle is the place to go. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. Also send money to Pakistan absolutely free. We have all top brands at special offers, offer free customer parking and provide a free local delivery service. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 687 374. High in quality, low in prices.
Did you know that over 361,000 children die every year due to lack of clean water? Clean water is not a luxury, but a basic human right. UKIM is working to end their suffering by providing clean and safe water. This Ramadan, make a difference. Provide clean and safe water with UKIM. For donations, call now or visit ukim.org.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Looking to improve your living space? Plan your dream home with AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms. We design, manufacture and install your perfect kitchen or bedroom to your personal space and taste with clever storage utilising every inch. We pride ourselves on our exquisite attention to detail. Let AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms plan your perfectly tailored space fitted around you. We also offer bespoke services for understairs storage, TV units and feature walls, all designed and manufactured by us. Call us now on 01733 686 767 or visit abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk. Open to the trade and public. AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms, Unit 3 Brassey Close, Peterborough, PE1 2AZ. Plan your dream home with us. abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk.
With you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
This is Salaam Radio. This is 106.2 FM. Thank you so much for joining us again on Salaam Sports. And we are in the studio with Sadat, Akram and Rashid Ansari on the phone. We are also joined for the second half, the football special. Bidan Ganguly, Bidan, you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Just before I get you involved in any of the football stuff, thoughts on Hamilton?
Oh, well, I mean, look, I'm just gutted for him. I mean, just unbelievable decision by the race steward to not allow passing the safety car and then...
Oh, race steward, as in like the car race steward. Okay, good.
Yeah, so,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, so it was, I just can't believe it. Obviously, 11-second lead, and you just thought that it was light work for Hamilton, but then we get that, and then, you know, but apparently Hamilton's like I said to you before, he's taken it with good grace, and that's the sign of a champion. But it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough.
Fair play. No worries. Well, we talked about that in the first half. Second half, it's all football, and I just want to kick it off straight up. Zidane Iqbal, Sadat, your thoughts?
Amazing. Firstly, the whole...
Tell the audience who he is, isn't it?
Zidane Iqbal, okay, he's born in the UK. His father's from Pakistan. His mother is from Iraq. And I think he plays at Iraq, if national for youth Iraq.
Under 23s, Iraq team.
Under 23. He plays the under 23.
Yeah, so he's been talked about quite a lot, but he's never... I don't think... Has he even been on the bench before on the squad, in a team? I don't think he has been.
No.
And obviously, Ralph decided to make a big changes, 11 changes, and the only disappointing is that because of it was Savage's son getting on at the same time, he got a bit more highlight than, shall we say, Zidane Iqbal did.
Yeah.
And that was just a bit, but yeah, it was he looked good. I know he was only on there for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
He was like, we were all cheering, watching while we were watching my brother. And we were all cheering for the ball to go out. Go out, because the ball just wouldn't go out for them to be subbed.
I mean, put it this way: like my daughters were talking about it because it was all over like Instagram, Twitter, and whatever, and especially social media, because they're Pakistani, and they don't know football. No. They're like, who's this Zidane Iqbal that played for Man United? And I'm like, how do you know this? Like, how do you know this? Rashid, you've been following his journey actually through the youth ranks at Man United. You've seen him play a few times, haven't you, on like YouTube videos and whatnot? Thoughts on him he's not a token, is he? This guy looks like he's a genuine baller, right?
He's been there since under 12, hasn't he, Rashid? Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's a Twitter account, and the one that shows all the United youth stuff, and we've been, me and as well as I think Bidsy as well, we were regular consumers of that. And when we look at all the young players coming through, and what we've been talking about, for example, for years, about 4 years ago, we were talking about Mason Greenwood.
I remember that.
So there's Charlie Savage, and he's meant to be okay, but you've got Zidane Iqbal, and more importantly, Hannibal Mejbri. Those are the two, and Mejbri's he's Algerian, he's Tunisian, and he's Muslim as well. And Zidane, he's British Pakistani, half Iraqi, Muslim as well, kid. And they're both sort of like really up and coming attacking midfielders, creative players. Mejbri is going to be playing for Tunisia in the African Cup of Nations. Anyway,
amazing.
I think the thing with Zidane is just physically he needs to develop himself more. You know, I mean, he's only 18.
Bidan will bring you in. Bidan, I'm just going to bring you in. Sorry, Rashid. Bidan, I was just going to bring you in. I read somewhere that he's basically idolized players like Mesut Ozil and Frankie de Jong, and you know he sees himself as somebody who's going to play box to box. What are your thoughts on his playing style, his ability, and how far he can go? It's obviously we've only seen, like you say, 3-4 minutes of him competitively. But what do you think, Bidan?
No, look, he's always looked like, you know, at that level that he's been playing at. He's always looked very good. And I think that like Charlie Savage is, you know, him getting on surprised me a bit because I don't think he was as far forward in his development as Zidane Iqbal is. But yeah, he's obviously it's difficult to tell at that level, and also he didn't play obviously that much on Wednesday, but you know I think he's got a potentially very high ceiling if we can continue to develop him. It would be interesting to see whether he goes out on loan, whether he stays for more time with the first team and stuff. I mean, another player, Rash, that we've talked about is Charlie Neal as well, who we signed from City, who's like a machine goal scorer. I'd have expected to have seen him as well, but I think that obviously we've got Elanga as well that I think might get minutes under Ralph, to be honest with you, because, well, we can expand on that later as to why we think that might be the case.
So one thing that Man United got ripped for from maybe unfairly, well, definitely unfairly from the media and certainly from Liverpool fans as well, was around the time when Mourinho was in, we were talking about how you guys want to buy your success, you're not developing talent, you're not developing youngsters, but you know, if you just look at the total number of outfield players that United have had since, God knows, like 1970 or something, 50% of them have been from your academy.
Oh, it's from more than the 70s.
1945. It's 1940. Since 1945, all the players that...
Name correct you there.
I'm happy for Rashid to correct me any time of the way. God, Rashid, sorry.
Half our players since 1945 are from your academy.
Yeah.
And we've had a run of 4,000 games with a youth product in the squad.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And
but you can't win anything with youth.
You can't win anything with kids. So yeah. I mean, it's incredible, and you know, obviously, you know, that's something that's definitely worth being proud of. The fact that you're developing your homegrown players and giving them a chance. From a Liverpool fan's perspective, you know what? It's good to see. It's good to see Zidane Iqbal because you know he's South Asian heritage.
Yeah, it would be good to see more of him, not to just see him just this 3 minutes and then go quiet again. So
yeah, because we were asking why he got dropped after 3 minutes. That he wasn't
he looked superb. He looked like he was
running the game. He got dropped straight away against Norwich. Like, why would you drop him?
Why would you?
You're killing his confidence.
I mean, look, that was I think Ralph, everyone's got a clean slate under Ralph, and against against still thinking of racing, against young boys.
Yeah.
You know, everybody got a chance to get on, and he's sort of gone down into the youth system as well. So, but I don't think, you know, I'd be surprised if we saw him in a Premier League squad this season.
Yeah, it was a no-lose situation, is it? Because United were already through the qualifier, the top of the Champions League on that table, so he could afford to do that. But I don't, like I said, I don't see him doing it in the FA Cup. or something like that.
Do you know what I mean? In a way, it was a shame that Liverpool didn't use more of that. I mean, they did. They gave a number. We were, obviously, we played Milan, didn't we? We played 5-1-5. We were going to be top of the league regardless. We could have been a little bit more adventurous, but we still had Mo Salah playing. We still had, I think Origi played. I think Mane played. I mean, we had a number of, first teamers playing, and we was like, well, you could have just given the kids a run out. Imagine kids having like a full-on youth squad away in the San Siro. I mean, it'd just be massive. But
I mean, do you know what? But if anything, I think Ralph's the one that should have been playing a full-strength team against in the Champions League game because as we'll go on to, I'm sure.
This is it. This is the segue. This is the segue into Ralph Rangnick and how he's doing, and I'm sure you're going to say that Ralph is desperate for time to know his team. Here's an opportunity where he had some time.
I mean, so for me, it's like, there's been 3 games in the league. There's been Chelsea, where I know that was officially under Carrick, but we did start to see, what is now developing against Crystal Palace and against Norwich yesterday, and I don't know. The thing is that it is going to take time because these players have been programmed in the social way, and they've got as it was described yesterday, bad habits.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously everyone's going on about this 4-2-2-2, which for me I actually do think it's a 2-4-2-2 in that what we try to do now, what it looks like we're trying to do now is flood the centre to make people play out to the wings. To the fullbacks, and then our fullbacks step forward onto the wingers and try and intercept the ball and win it back. Now, I saw a lot of that against Crystal Palace, and there was a lot of energy and running against Crystal Palace. I saw it in the first 15 minutes against Norwich, but we just then seemed to revert to type. And the thing is, we were just going out to the wing, and then because we've not got the we've not got the players that we would start if you were doing a 4-3-3 or like a 4-5-1 or whatever like that. It just didn't seem to work, and I thought Fernandes, didn't have a great game. Yes, everyone was losing the ball because
they all had a shocking
game,
get
it forward, and it's just like.
Let me just.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to come in there. I was going to read a few comments from Ishfaq Ali. Ishfaq Ali was asking about Zidane Iqbal. How old is he? Where is he from? When did United sign him? What position does he play? Arif Aziz would have known all of this, and I think we've answered all of those questions. He said, Arif Aziz, please call him, would love your input. And he also said, are there any other, this is a good question actually, are there any other South Asian players close to starting for any of the other top clubs? So maybe just have a think about...
I know that there's... So when Liverpool played Aston Villa last year in the FA Cup, and Aston Villa had the COVID outbreak and had to play their under-23s, I think there was definitely one British Asian player. I think it was the Sikh guy. And I know that there's one at Wolves.
So for one for Aston Villa?
Yeah, well, who's the one at Aston Villa?
There might be a couple at Aston Villa.
From what he's saying.
Aston Villa and Wolves, definitely. Liverpool had one, that Danda guy, but they sold him, didn't they?
Yeah, they've gotten rid of him. He was half decent. Well, he probably wasn't up to Premier League standard, though. But, okay, so just going back to Ralph Rangnick then. Obviously, Ralph Rangnick, good start. Is he a good start? He's won 3 straight. That's a good start, right?
Good start.
The results, yes.
Yes, results-wise, yes. Yesterday, I'll tell you what was disappointing. The fact, like you said, you started off in the first 15 minutes. Okay, well, even I think that's been a bit fair. I don't think they really started off that well. But he's talked the talk at the end saying, no, that's not what my plan was. The plan was to play it as we did Crystal Palace.
Sure.
But he didn't do anything to change it. By personnel, system, or anything after the first 20, 30 minutes or even half-time. They were all having his shockers. He could have taken anybody off and nobody could complain. That's including Ronaldo, Fernandes, McTominay, Fred, anyone he could have taken off, really, to be honest.
Rashid, I mean, what do you think? Do you think he could have changed it by taking somebody off, or was it just the players on the pitch weren't following instructions rather than... I mean, nobody's questioning their ability to do it.
No,
I think it's just their knowledge.
Then if they're not listening, then you tell them off by taking them off as well. You say, right, if you're not going to do what I'm going to say, I don't care how good you are. You may be a Ronaldo, you may be whoever you are, but you're coming off.
Yeah.
There are certain players having a shocker. And we've all said, look, why isn't Donny getting more time or whatever? And we've seen Donny on Wednesday. He wasn't that great either.
No.
The problem simply is this, and this is the problem that we face. And you would remember this with Liverpool under Klopp in the first game. He really went for the high pressing thing, and Liverpool players were getting injured quite regularly.
Yep.
They started getting all these muscle injuries, and Liverpool finished 8th, ended up finishing 8th. I think he's realised he can't do that just yet.
They had a week break though, didn't they? These players didn't have. They didn't play on the Wednesday Champions League.
No, they didn't. But I mean,
so yeah, I mean, the point's not. The point's not that they're. The point. Sorry, Rashid. Sorry, I was going to say the point's not that they're not fresh. The point is that they're not conditioned. So they're fresh and they can do what they usually do, but what's required is a much higher intensity.
But then they were not at the same level that they did at Crystal Palace, for example. I mean, the same players that did it at Crystal Palace beat all for 30 minutes. They didn't even do it for, I don't think, for 5-10 minutes against Norwich.
Are we being Bidan? Are we being unduly harsh on United as a team right now, just because they've had a manager for 3 games? Like, what do you expect in 3 games? If they've got 3 wins, they're scraping it and they're beginning to form an idea of what's wanted. That's progress, right?
Well, it depends what progress is. I mean, look, we finished second under Solskjaer last year, and I know that there was like COVID and Liverpool had an off season and Chelsea didn't have Tuchel and all that kind of stuff. But I think that, are we as good as what we were last season under Solskjaer at the minute? You have to say the answer. You can't say that it's yes, but you are right in the sense that, look, we under Solskjaer there was only ever going to be so far that we could go, and we need, we lack organisation and tactical nous as a group of players, I would say, and obviously Solskjaer's like bench and things like that. They never really sort of, like we said, had the tactical nous to beat Villarreal, to do an Unai Emery, to beat him in the final of the Europa League. So it is going to take time. The only question mark that I have is that what is the future for Manchester United? I mean, let's say everyone's talking about Pochettino. So Ralph Rangnick is going to spend 6 months drilling in a certain way of playing. Then what happens to that way of playing at the end of the season?
Well, I mean, this is where we were talking about this when a couple of weeks ago. Like, he's going to do that, absolutely going to do that, but then he's got a 2-year consultancy role. So you'd think Pochettino will be the guy managing day to day, but in terms of the structure and the identity, the playing style still comes from Ralph Rangnick.
Absolutely, yeah.
You have to,
and that's what he's been doing in the previous clubs, isn't it?
I think that's what United have committed to.
United will then get a manager that will adopt the high press, and that will play in that sort of the 4-2-2 system. And they may or may not be Pep, may not be Eric Ten Hag, but it will be a manager that has that sort of.
So Rashid, I mean, look, Rashid, look, I challenged you on this. I think it was last week I challenged you on this. I said when Pochettino comes in, he's going to have to just be a yes man manager. He's going to have to be a man manager and get people to play in the style that Ralph Rangnick has decided, because Ralph Rangnick's got an interim manager's position and a 2-year consulting. That's not a great look for Pochettino, but we talked about this, didn't we?
We did, but I think being a bit harsher, just because it's not about being a great look. Poch himself presses. Tottenham used to press really well. That was one of the reasons they finished second.
Yeah, agreed.
Leicester.
I'm sure Poch will know before he comes in as well.
Hard presses as well. So it will be that kind of manager, because Murta and Fletcher have decided. And, alongside Woodward, that's the kind of style they want. They want to be a modern sort of footballing club now. And therefore, we are going to have that sort of manager, and we'll buy players to that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The players that we sell now and the players that we bring in. I think we will bring in midfielder, and we'll probably both, Lingard will go, Martial will go, whatever. But when you add Cavani to the mix, when you add Varane to the mix, you will see things get better.
Yeah, fair play.
Cavani will lead the press.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Just from the three of you, as United fans, just give me a number between 1 and 10. How satisfied you are with the current Ralph Rangnick journey? I know it's early days, but just give me a number. Sadat.
7.
Yeah, I was going to say about between 6.5, 7. Yeah,
6.5, 7. Yeah. Rashid 7. Bidan.
Yeah, 6.5, 7.
6.5, 7. Ishraq Ali's been on again. He's saying first objective was getting back to winning ways, keeping clean sheets. Then after that, it's all about implementing your style. He's getting the wins and not conceding. That's good. And then people were giving Ole 3 years, but Ralph is being judged after 3 games. I don't think that last one's quite true. Yeah. We're not being judged. We're just trying to assess where he is. But I think it's a valid thing.
But also, on a clean sheet, since before we move on, it's like there's different ways of keeping clean sheets.
Yeah, completely get that. And XG, you're not on clean sheets, right?
Exactly, and it's like, Dustagir had another amazing game.
Dustagir is playing out of his socks, to be fair. He's looking like the world class keeper that he was 3 years ago.
He has had, and the run of games that Ralph will be coming into is, let's say, much easier or opponents.
Well, that was planned, wasn't it? They got Ralph in just at that point where they've overgone because you don't want your new manager coming against flipping City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Exactly. So that's fair enough. Listen, we are going to go to a break, but just quickly before we do, let's get cracking on Chelsea. Not exactly invincible. What's going on? Sadat, did you see them yesterday?
I didn't see him yesterday, but it was a penalty, 2 penalties, wasn't it? Was it 94th minute penalty?
I mean, they scraped it. They really scraped it.
Yeah, but, to win a Premier League, you have to have some luck, and you will have games where you're not playing well and you win.
Yeah, and, I mean, their game against United...
Yeah, that was just a good performance by Carrick.
It really was. It really was. So you think this is just like a minor
Yeah,
blip,
no, I think, yeah.
They're not going to be falling off.
No, they're missing Kante, they're missing Kovacic.
And they're missing Lukaku as well.
Lukaku.
So I only bring that up because I did mention Lukaku at the start of the season, saying I reckon he's going to get, he'll be in the top 2 or 3 in terms of goal scorers at the end of the season.
I think Ronaldo's ahead of him already, isn't he?
Well, many players are ahead of him. He's not even playing right now. Listen, guys, we are going to go to a mini break for the Adhan, so stay where you are, and we'll be back in about 4 minutes. So yeah, I'll speak to you then.
Okay.
You're listening to Salaam Radio, and it's now time for Maghrib Azan. This Azan is sponsored by Park Foods. Come and see the difference.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا.
And we're back live on Salaam Sports. Thank you so much. sure I pressed stop on that. I might have pressed stop a little bit earlier than I should have done.
Nice little
Sure, I
tune
pressed
at the
stop.
end.
Yeah, that was quite a cool tune. Yeah, we're back live, and we've got 4 minutes of the show, guys. I just wanted to squeeze in at the end a couple of things. City and Liverpool both looking really, really good. Thoughts on Liverpool, Bidan?
Yeah, I thought yesterday, look, they got the job done, didn't they? Everyone made a lot about how the top teams all got penalties yesterday. I didn't think just City didn't look. They got the job done as well. Liverpool got the job done as well, and Chelsea again. They just got the job done. I guess they did get a bit fortuitous.
Did Villa deserve a penalty?
No.
Well, yeah.
No. I'm not asking you.
Okay,
Richard.
sorry.
I know you say no.
Go on, Bidan. Did Villa deserve that penalty?
Yeah. You've seen them given.
Of course you've seen them given.
Yes.
Of course you've seen them
That's a
given.
yes.
But the question was, did Villa deserve that penalty that wasn't given?
Deserve?
That's what you said.
But if it's a penalty, you emphasised. Yeah.
If it's a foul in the box, it's a penalty, and I think that I've seen those given. That's all. But look, I think, look, Stevie G. Great to see him back at a spiritual home. I thought.
Stop it!
I thought his
Stop
comment.
it!
I thought his comment to Michael Owen was really.
What did he
great.
say to Michael Owen?
Michael Owen said it's so difficult to come back to Anfield and play again. He goes. I think he said I would have found it difficult, and really, he goes, I'm not surprised you played for Man United.
Yeah. Fair play now. Good stuff. And I mean, City. Yeah. I mean, they just look like they're on the verge of being close to perfect, right? They're just so dominant.
With City, we know that they can go on a run of. They could win 20 games in a row.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Liverpool can do that too. I'm not sure Chelsea can. I think Chelsea will finish third, and it'll be between Liverpool and City as to who wins it.
Depends what happens when the African Cup of Nations takes place, and that will Liverpool.
When is that? The African
January.
Cup? January.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. Okay, and look, we've only got a couple of minutes of the show left. I know we've had to fly through, and it's actually flown as well. But just last couple of minutes, Rashid, I just want to get your thoughts on the race for fourth place, because United look like they've picked up a few results, but don't quite look like they're firing. Arsenal look decent, but they drop points. Spurs not really out of it. Wolves, West Ham looking really strong. What are your thoughts?
Will be United. West Ham have drawn away to Burnley 0-0, and there was a really horrible game apparently. Both sides are rubbish. I think United have the firepower and they have the squad, and then they have the momentum now. I think United should finish fourth.
Sadat, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think United have the experience as well, fighting for the fourth. But the pressure on the top level, where West Ham will crumble, Wolves the same. Tottenham, they always crumble.
Yeah, Tottenham finished third in a 2-horse race. I love that. Bidan, I mean, do you share your fellow United fans?
It just depends how well Conte takes to Spurs, really. I think that, like I said, Spurs, historically, they always crumble. If Conte changes that, then they'll finish fourth. But I think that it looks like it's going to be United, because United have been playing that well. We got 3 successive victories.
Didn't Conte come out with a comment similar to Mourinho, saying his squad's rubbish or something like that?
Sorry, so what was that?
Didn't Conte recently say something about how poor his squad is at Tottenham, and he was really disappointed in the players that he's inherited?
Yeah, he said something which might have been lost in translation, but he didn't say
down those lines. Yeah.
It was definitely down those lines. Listen, we're fast running out of time for the show.
Ishfaq, you're saying, I've got to get this in, sorry, quickly. You're saying that Liverpool
Ishfaq reckons Liverpool to finish fourth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thoughts on the goal scorer for Manchester United yesterday, Bidan, just as we close the show?
Ronaldo just doing what he does best, and now
Nice one.